The former Mobutu minister revealed how he perpetrated manipulation on the population of Congo, through the honoring of the national flag, the singing of the national anthem and the use of national money. Note, I am SAKOMBI. I come from a modest family. My father was a fisherman and my mother was selling fish. I did my primary school and secondary school in a Catholic institution. Then I went to Belgium to study for 4 years. In 1965 my father was nominated as Minister of Information. Then he appointed me as his chief cabinet. As a result, this changed my life forever. I was the chief of cabinet in the Ministry of Information. I was still single. I was getting a lot of money. As a result, I began a lifestyle of debauchery, visiting nightclub with all kind of women. My life was party and enjoyment. Our Ministry of Information was in charge of national media, TV, radio, cinema. Information was in my control. We were on top of the world. Later on I was introduced to fetishism and superstition. I was initiated in Indian magic, Tibet and Himalaya magic and the Kabbalah. I was introduced to charlatan of the West Africa, and I knew all the great witch of Congo. My life became dependent on occultism. I could not do anything without consulting charlatan. In 1978 I became information minister. As a result I got deeper in occultism. My relationship with satanic priest, guru and mystic expanded. Later I bought a house in one of the borough of the capital. However, I never lived there. I had a secret room in that residence where I did magic prayer and incantation. There were mystic book and instrument kept there. Then, I became closer to a man who was Lucifer high priest, particularly in the field of media manipulation. Whenever I enter in the black room in this residence, I would begin to do incantation and magic prayer. As a result, the Lucifer priest in India would send me response from Bombay. I was getting letters and mail from Bombay directly to my room from the Indian priest. Often a mystical bird was coming to drop the letter and then he was disappearing. Moreover, I had a radio that I was using in order to communicate with the Indian priest. When it was midnight I was doing incantation. Then I was tuning the radio to a frequency to hear him in Bombay. Often I was going to the cemetery at midnight and he was appearing. I was also heading to the riverfall to hear his voice that was emerging from the depth of the river. He gave me talisman containing instruction for personal protection. I also had a magic knife from Indian temple. Every time another politician tried to attack me, this knife will move from my black room and will pierce his heart to kill him. Then he gave me a magic carpet to use as a plane to travel the world. I needed to recite magic prayer that was in Hindu on a papyrus. Thus I was traveling the world with a flying carpet, and in order to land I had to recite incantation in Hindu. If you fail to recite these words correctly, you may be stuck in the atmosphere and die there. Every 3 months I was supposed to dine with the Indian priest and demon in the cemetery at midnight so that my power can be fortified. The grave of the cemetery serve us as a table. There was a time a policy was set out by the government to send young people and unemployed in the country and village to do agriculture. I was supposed to implement this government policy. There was protestation in the city and young people and the unemployed people were angry against me. They decided and conspired to kill me. There was gunshot incident around my residency. The Indian priest suggested that I should increase my power and protection. He asked me to attend the cemetery at midnight with a big bag. On that day I went to the cemetery. After incantation the big bag got heavy. I was told to bring the bag in my black room and to open it. I took the heavy bag to my secret residence in the black room and I opened it. An 8-meter snake came out of it. I was supposed to spend 3 days inside that room with the snake without eating and drinking. On the 3rd day of this test I was instructed to kill the snake and open its body. Inside the snake there was a talisman for protection. I killed that snake and opened its body, and I took the talisman of protection that kept me against the many threat I was getting. Given that I was Minister of Information, I was responsible for propaganda and mobilization. I had to manipulate public opinion. The nation radio and TV press was under my control. I began to use the media with the purpose of bewitching and casting spells on the whole nation. This was the only way to stay in power forever. I got men and women to sing and dance for the regime. Mobutu has given Congo the name of Zaire with evil intent. He knew that the name will have a Luciferian influence over the country. This was actually a Lucifer instruction to change the name of the country from Congo to Zaire, because Zaire is a demon under the river. Given the river Congo is like the backbone or the spine of the country, it crossed all the country and all the provinces, to bewitch and cast spell on the country. The ruling elite employ and assign witches, wizards and marabout priests to bewitch the Congo River from the source. Given that this river crossed the whole country, when people drank water they came under manipulation. Magicians and Satanists were recruited throughout the country to bewitch the population to accept the very regime that is the cause of suffering. Everybody in the country was bewitched to accept and love the regime even if there was extreme suffering. When I became Zaire ambassador in France, I met one of the greatest native doctor in West Africa. He was from Senegal. He revealed to me what the President Mobutu was doing and in terms of casting spells on the population of Zaire. He took me to Egypt in a pyramid. We enter inside that pyramid and we descended more than 100 meters beneath the pyramid, and the native doctor showed me the organ of Zaire flag. This is a mystical emblem that can be traced to an Egyptian god, who is Lucifer himself. Every time the population of Zaire were honoring this flag of Zaire, they were actually honoring Lucifer himself. The light in the flag of Zaire is the same light in the Olympic torch and the Statue of Liberty torch that is promoting the scientific knowledge of Prometheus, who is Lucifer. When I was invested as National Minister of Information, I was sent by the government to retrieve the new national anthem from an individual who was an occultic priest in a county of the southeast of the country. This was supposed to be the country new anthem. After retrieving the new national anthem from the occultic priest, I met the representative of the national government in that county. Since we were all bewitched and we failed to analyze the lyric and wording of this anthem that was coded and inspired by Satan himself, this lyric in this new anthem was praising Prometheus, who is the devil himself, and his fire, which is scientific knowledge. When the population in Zaire were singing the national anthem, they were honoring the devil, and they were being bewitched. The other medium to bewitch the population of the country was the money note and coins. The national monetary note were full of occultic and Kabbalistic symbol, that were supposed to bewitch the whole population. There was a particular note of 5 millions that was supposed to bewitch and manipulate the whole population of the country. https://www.youtube.com/watch V equals MIHQ_A https://www.youtube.com/watch V equals 3J6 by 0 https://www.youtube.com/watch V equals M1XF0 https://www.youtube.com/watch V equals 1 Ktsiksidsk4 and T equals 26S.